Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of Coffee with Father James. As you can see, I'm back in the church, but this time I've traded my walking in circles for a cup of joe, a cup of java, and I'm using my Alpha mug for reasons of which will become plain in a few minutes. This is the week before the new year, before the beginning of a new liturgical year, the beginning of Advent, where we begin to prepare for Christmas. Now I know, a couple of weeks ago we started hearing the Christmas carols in the shopping malls, and by now many of us are probably a little bit tired of them, and some of us may have already started to put up Advent decorations. I used to be pretty rigorous about the question of Christmas decorations. I used always to try to advocate for, holding off and waiting as long as possible before Christmas, just like in the good old days, until one day after Mass, a mother of 4 kids accosted me and told me what she thought of my ideas, and that's fine for someone who doesn't have any kids, etc., etc. So I've been a little less dogmatic over the years about the question of Advent/Christmas decorations. And besides, in this past year and a half, 2 years with COVID, look, if Christmas decorations make you happy, go for it. I'd just like to think that, at least try to do something a little Adventish, maybe have an Advent wreath at your table or somewhere, maybe light some candles. So maybe don't put baby Jesus out just yet, like something that indicates that we're just beginning the season of preparation for Advent. Now, speaking of Advent and Advent wreaths, this coming Sunday there will be an Advent wreath making gathering from 3 to 5 at the parish hall. It's open to all adults who can produce proof of vaccination, of course, and it's also open to any children under the age of 12, unvaccinated, who are accompanied by a vaccinated adult as per usual conditions. It's going to be great. Great opportunity to gather with other families and to make an Advent wreath. Please email Brad McKinnon at this address right here, so that we know we're going to have enough supplies for you. So that's a great exercise, and we've been able to do very few things for families in the last year and a half, and I think this is a good start to be able to start doing things together. So it's not just going to be about making the Advent wreath. We're going to be showing you how to maybe pray together as a family as well. So Advent is underway. Another thing that we're getting ready for with Advent is we've been working on a new preaching series, which is going to be called Overflow. It's taken from this phrase is taken from the second reading from the second Sunday of Advent from Paul's letter to the Philippians, where St. Paul says, "May your love overflow. Overflow. May the love of God that is being poured into your heart, may that overflow." And here's what we're called to as a Christian community, to individually and communally, to be people who are filled with God's love so that it overflows. And we know when something overflows, it touches those and the things around it. And that's the kind of church we want to be, a church where God's love overflows, and especially overflows as we reach out during this pre-Christmas period to reach out and support the poor. So that preaching series, we're working on a series of the 4 homilies for the season of Advent that will build on each other. I'm going to be giving 2 of those homilies. Deacon David will preach one of the homilies, and Father Ron, who's helping us out while we don't have a second priest, is going to be doing one of those weekends as well. So I look forward to developing and sharing those themes with you. Part of our attempt to overflow, I talked about last week in the Coffee with Father James video, and this past Sunday our gift catalogs did arrive and they were distributed at Mass, and so they will be distributed again this coming weekend, and I hope you all had a chance to pick one up. We're doing these as a way for us to maybe do Christmas a little differently, instead of buying into the materialism and all the spending of sometimes money we don't have for silly things that we don't need. A different way to give a gift. more in the spirit of Christmas. And it's also a way for us to highlight some of the different initiatives that we have as a parish. Since amalgamation, we have a lot more initiatives on the backs or the shoulders of fewer people, both to serve them and to fund them. And so this is a way to communicate in a way that's not overbearing towards parishioners and give you a choice of what to support. You don't have to use this. You can get, many of you have been supporting our traditional ministries like St. Vincent de Paul or the Backpack Project for years. You don't need to do this, but this is a way to help out. You can complete these and drop them off at the parish office or drop them off this weekend. You can also go online and fill these out online as well. So keep in mind our gift catalog. Another part of this season is that when you see the entrance to the church, as you come in, you'll see on the left side we have the gift catalog display, and on the right side, and actually on the wings of the entrance to the St. Peter's location, you'll see our parish envelopes, and that's a necessary part of this time of year. I like to say that parishes don't just run on Hail Marys. We have the basic costs to cover of operating buildings and our basic functions, but we also want to be a parish that's on mission, that's overflowing. And in order to support and sustain all of that activity, there are real costs. And so we rely on you, the members of this parish, to help together to own this work of mission and to support and to fund that work. And that is through your committed giving, either through picking up envelopes or by your automated giving, which is actually an incredible way to support the mission of the church. Because supporting the mission of the church is not like going to the movies. When you don't go to the movies, you don't buy a ticket. Church isn't something you go to buy a ticket. It's who we are. And so anyone who can come on to a more committed way of giving, that means so much for us to be able to go forward. So perhaps if you've been attending our parish and have not yet committed, maybe give a call to the office and we can get a box of envelopes for you as well. If you're like me and you give on automated giving, as I do, then your box of envelopes is actually going to be a smaller box that just has the second collections in it. Either way, please make sure that you, at the beginning of Mass or at the end of Mass, and this coming week, the week after, that you stop by and pick up your box of envelopes. And with that in mind, if I can just say, give another message around those lines, we're nearing the end of the year, and for many of us, as we approach the end of the fiscal year as well as the calendar year, many of us are assessing what our charitable contributions have been as we anticipate filling out taxes for the coming year. And sometimes it's a time to do catch up. And it's no secret that, as with many charities during COVID, the church, the parish, has struggled. We are below what we budgeted for giving. People have been very generous, but overall our numbers have been down and our bottom line has been impacted. And so I just really want to invite you to maybe do a bit of assessment. We want to thank you for your support of the parish, but perhaps it's a time to maybe just check in and maybe to see has your contribution been what you actually intended it to be. Perhaps too is maybe the Lord inviting you to give an extra gift for the sake of the mission of the parish as we go forward. That would be greatly appreciated. And finally, it goes to the reason why I have my Alpha mug, is because we've been running 2 Alpha experiences. We've been running in-person Alpha at the parish centre on Monday nights, and I think close to 40 guests. And in my own small group, I've got an amazing small group that has, quite a number of people who are either, not connected with the church, who have never been connected with the church, who are looking at the possibility of connecting with the church. And the conversations in our small group has been amazing. It really has been. It's been great to be back experiencing Alpha again. And there's also an online Alpha that's happening as well. Now, one of the things that happens on Alpha is at the end of the experience, we have a kind of a celebration night, or I think they're calling it a soiree night. And that's going to happen on Monday, December 6th. And what it is it's a kind of a, not a graduation night, but it's a time for the guests who have completed their Alpha experience to celebrate it and to share with others. We're inviting them to invite others, to invite family, friends to come and maybe get a little glimpse of what Alpha is about. There's going to be refreshments, a very welcoming environment, a live talk, and an invitation to consider participating in a new experience of Alpha in the new year. Here's the thing that I'm going to invite you to do, is to think about anyone you might be willing to invite to come and see, to come and hear about who this Jesus is, this Jesus whose birth we're getting ready as a culture to celebrate. Because here's the thing, it doesn't matter whether you call it Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, it's a holy day. A holiday is a holy day. And it's a holy day because, no matter what the holidays are that we celebrate, the main one is December 25th. That's what we celebrate. It's marked by the birth of Jesus Christ. And we want people to know who this Jesus is, this Jesus who took flesh, who came into our midst and who grew up and embraced his public ministry, who gave his life for us, rose from the dead. We want people to come to know him. And that's why we do Alpha. And so we want to invite as many people as possible. We can trust that this will be kind of a low intensity, high welcoming, non-judgmental environment. That's what we aim for, with an invitation for people to come and see, the exact same invitation that Jesus himself made to his first followers at the beginning of his ministry. So we're hoping that you will give some consideration to invite others to our Alpha event on December 6th. Check out our website for more information on that. One final thing, many of you have been asking me how I'm doing. I've been struggling with a bit of a flu bug over the last couple of weeks. The short answer is that in spite of the ups and downs of the last couple of weeks, I'm better. Today, as we shoot this video, I'm feeling stronger. A week ago, I was quite sick. I did have a COVID test. I don't have COVID. And then I came back and I think I overdid it and ended up feeling poorly again. But I'm hoping that to continue moving upwards for the coming week. I'll see most of you, I hope, on the weekend. And actually next week, there won't be a coffee video because I'm actually going on vacation. I've got 1 week of vacation time left for the year, and I'm going to visit a priest friend of mine down in the United States. So, but I will be back on time for our Alpha celebration on December 6th. So I hope to see you there. In the meantime, have a great first week of Advent, and we'll see you when I see you next. God bless.